Power to the truth. I'm going to entitle this video Global Humane Consciousness 1. We here upon planet Earth as a species are an endangered species. There is no exaggeration of this. And we are endangered by our own governments, our own mutual killings, our own character defects, not to mention our environmental hazards, including climate chaos. I am here now in Sacramento, California, I want to take my time sharing this. I find that some people that I hear online and stuff in YouTube videos, they talk so damn fast I can't even understand what the hell they're saying. And I myself am recovering from a diabetic heart stroke I had a couple of months back. So forgive me if I do not enunciate and pronounce my words as well as I used to. To tell the truth, maybe I didn't pronounce that clear before anyway. I've become a lot more conscious of my diet, of my movements, of my going to and fro than ever before. Sacramento is one of the most integrated cities in the world in terms of its racial diversity. And this has been good for me because I was raised in Southside Park in actually a half basement. Later on we moved to the top floor and had the whole upper part of the house. And this half basement, next door we had a Chinese family, the G's. So I would go next door and visit my friend Bicton, and it was like being in another domain, another world. And they had Chinese calendar and Chinese bowls and spoke Chinese, and it was different. Then right across, in between these two houses, there was like a patch of lawn. And next door were the Seninis, S-E-N-I-N-I, Seninis, Italians. So I'd go over there, and there was a man there named Al Senini. And he used to do a lot of yard work, and I would help him and stuff. Sometimes in summer we would sleep out on cardboard in the backyard for a while till it got dark and I'd go inside. Mrs. Senini used to make us lemonade and she'd cook Italian food, and I really loved those two people. They were like my grandparents growing up. So, life goes on, circumstances change. I think it's important for us to remember our early childhood years, our early teenage adolescent years, and to be aware of how much that shaped us and how we became. So I wasn't raised in a racist type environment. We didn't go around talking about niggers or spics or chinks. Gringos. Not that gringo itself is a bad word. So my consciousness was basically ordinary consciousness. I thought of myself first as a Mexican, and later on a Mexican American, and later on a Chicano, the Aztlán. And ultimately, I think of myself as a humane being, B-E-I-N-G. I strive to have care, concern, and compassion for all people, no matter their so-called race, no matter their nation, their so-called nation, no matter their tribe, and see all of us as one human family, all of us as one endangered species. So we need to be aware that we have been divided. Old Roman formula was divide and rule. We have been divided elements and forces in the external world and elements and forces within us. So what we want to do is to unify ourselves, to come together as one people to help save the world. It may be too late already. We've argued too much, hated too much, killed too much, allowed ourselves to be confused too much. So there are a lot of imbalances in the world. Yet each day in the morning I wake up, I say a short prayer, and I appreciate my blessings. Even just being able to wake up. People die every day. And I worry about the world. Maybe I worry too much. Maybe I should just go out and get drunk. Buy me some dame and screw her brains out. But that's not me. I'm into learning and helping to raise consciousness and unifying people. Nowadays we're blessed because we can use the power of the internet in order to create a global collective consciousness. I think in terms of having common denominators. Common denominators. It's like say we're all one family of human beings. We have 5 basic needs: food, clothing, shelter, medical care, and quality education. So we need to be aware of what we have in common and understand that on a survival level, what we have in common is far greater than our differences. So we can see ourselves as potential friends, not as potential enemies. So we can have the spirit of cooperation with each other, not a spirit of competition. Now, if we look at the world, we see the evils that the U.S. regime is doing in the Middle East, and how the fascist Obama and the U.S. military machine is further dividing the world, further creating more and more millions of Muslims to hate the USA. Now, we can't do anything about that now, because at least in our consciousness, if we're aware of it and we learn the facts, we learn the truth, and we can help educate others in our own personal worlds about what's going on, so that we're not continuing to spread lies, continuing to divide people. We are as such a state of the world that wicked, evil people, powerful, evil people control the world, control the economy, control the mass media. You know, who controls Google, YouTube, your newspapers? So there has been a lot of, to me, brain damage to people, especially when we see the mass apathy, when we see the deeply embedded racism among people. Racism, it's deep. Even though we can constantly think, well, I shouldn't be racist against blacks or against whites or whoever. If we're culturally conditioned to be racist, it's going to take time and effort, energy, consciousness to clean ourselves from all those toxins, from all that poison. This is why, for me, life is a spiritual struggle, and we are waging spiritual warfare so that we can become more and more beautiful, humane beings who widen and widen our circles of compassion, and seek unity in the human family.